Wood County's live local news starts right now. This is BG24 News, live at 5:30.
Good evening and welcome to the special edition of BG24 News. I'm Danielle Griffith.
And I'm Jacqueline Gideon. They turned out by the hundreds on the BGSU campus today to rally against faculty cuts. We'll talk to some people involved in the march across campus.
Plus, February is Black History Month. We'll find out about the history of the celebration and what people are doing to create awareness.
But first, let's find out about the day's news with Gemma Schultz. Gemma?
Thanks, Jacqueline and Danielle. Our top story for tonight. Hundreds of BGSU faculty, staff, and students gathered outside of the McFall Center today, all in protest of administrators cutting 100 faculty members. They fear losing 1/8 of the faculty will raise class sizes for students and decided to march on McFall to express that. They do have a petition that has over 5,000 signatures on it, and today they got many more. BGSU Faculty Association President David Jackson says Maisie has acknowledged the petitions to review them. Jacqueline will talk to a student spokesperson who participated in the rally a little bit later in the show. A battle between BG residents and developers at last night's City Council meeting. City Council voted for a zoning change that would allow for new strip mall in a lot between North Prospect and North Summit. The mall would have office space or stores in the ground floor, but would also have some apartments on the second floor. The developers plan to break ground on the project sometime this summer. Let's take a quick look at our Black Swamp weather forecast with Lacey Hagan. Lacey, please tell me we have a warm-up coming our way.
Well, I do have good news for this weekend, not tonight though. Currently, we are sitting at 29 degrees and it is sunny. This is about average for February. We will carry those average temperatures into tonight when we will get down to about 18 degrees and we'll have a little bit of a cloud cover, nothing major. Into tomorrow's forecast, we'll get a nice warm up of about 37 degrees. So that's pretty nice for February. We can't complain with that. But that'll last shortly as tomorrow night's forecast will be getting a wintry mix. As you can see, we're only getting down to 29 degrees. We will have a cold front that will sweep through. That'll bring in rain at first and then we'll go to freezing rain and a little bit of snow. And that'll for precipitation, as you can see, we really have nothing going on right now. But as I said, like if we look over into our north over here, we will, or the northwest, we will be having a cold front come through, bringing in some snow. For our temperatures, we are in all blue right now. So we're all in the 30s, which is pretty normal for February, nothing too cold. And as we look at our 5-day forecast, for Thursday, we are getting up to about 37 degrees. And for Friday, we will be up to about 31 with accumulations up to about an inch. And Saturday will be a little bit cooler, but we'll have that nice warm up from Sunday into Monday. So, Jim, I don't know about you, but that'll be really nice for that warm up.
Yeah, the weather has been pretty crazy. Thanks, Lacey. The United States Postal Services didn't want it to come to this, but starting this August, they'll no longer deliver or pick up mail on Saturdays. The move is expected to save them $2 billion a year, but that's nowhere near the $16 billion they lost in 2012. And what does that mean for jobs? Postmaster General Patrick Donahue spoke earlier today.
Right now, the Postal Service, we run in excess of 10% overtime, almost 12%. And we've done this on purpose by not hiring and using attrition to take advantage of people leaving without having to resort to layoffs.
Packages will still be safe, however. USPS says they will continue to deliver packages on Saturdays. That's all I have for news tonight. Back to you guys.
Today's rally on the BGSU campus was all about saving jobs. Faculty and students marched to protest the possible firing of 100 faculty members.
We think this is a terrible mistake that will result in fewer class options for students, longer times to graduate, and larger class sizes. And we're here today to demonstrate and to demand that they change their mind and consult faculty, consult students about the direction of the university, and make decisions that are in the best interest of education.
One professor here in the crowd today was the whole reason I got my internship in Washington, D.C. last summer. I have to thank her for that. She prepared me for my interview. That was not in-class stuff. You know, that was above and beyond what she had to do. And that's what these professors do on a day-to-day basis. And it's sad. It's sad that the university can't quite realize that. Because I'll tell you what, I've met very few of the administration. I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are. They haven't really helped me a whole lot.
So you stood in front of hundreds of people today. How did it feel?
As I said today earlier at the rally, at first I was a little bit nervous, but then I looked around and it's not only me, it's not only the faculty, it's other students, community members. Probably for the first time in my career here at BGSU, I felt more at home than I ever have. So it was kind of comforting, kind of inspiring, and it was a good time. I'm proud of BGSU.
And how did you become so involved in this?
Both of my parents are educators. They're both teachers in Pennsylvania. So education has always been something I've valued. It's something I was brought up to believe in. And this is a threat to our education as students. So if we don't stand up for this, I'm not sure what we do stand up for. So.
And how did you specifically become the spokesperson?
I know Dr. Jackson. He's the president of the BGSU Faculty Association. He's my advisor. I've been involved in local campaigns and community organizing over the past couple of years. So my ability to help get students motivated helped the BGSU Faculty Association, and I was glad to do it. So.
What else have you been doing with this whole event?
We hosted a phone bank. We've been making signs, phone bank to call volunteers and whatnot. And I manage a couple different Facebook pages to kind of put it out there. We're going to be writing letters to the editor for the BG News, for the Blade, the Sentinel. Just making sure people are aware of what's going on. It's important.
And what do you think this shows about BGSU as a whole, how they united today?
Well, it shows that they're fired up about this issue, that it matters to them, that this isn't an issue that divides people but brings them together. It's not an issue that we want to be fighting for because it's not an issue that should be, it has no place at BGSU. The administration should value education and students first, and they're not doing that right now. But it shows that the campus can be unified, and again, it's inspiring.
And how important to you do you think it was for the faculty and the students' voices to be heard today?
I think it's gravely, grave importance. You know, this is a very serious issue about the future of BGSU.
And do you think the rally will change anything, or was it more for the satisfaction of being heard and telling the administration how you guys felt?
Well, that's not really satisfying if they're not responsive, and they haven't been responsive thus far. This has been going on for a while. The faculty has been trying to get a fair contract, which is something that they don't have. And so we'll see. I hope so. I hope they are responsive, but they haven't been so far. So.
Do you think they're going to respond after this?
I don't know. I think certainly our voices were heard today. I think President Mazie understands the gravity of this and that this is important to the student body, and we're not all in support of her plan. And I think she'll consider that handedly.
Okay. What else would you like to add about this event today that you think you should tell the students that weren't here today?
Well, I did get to speak to President Mazie at the when we submitted the petition, and she took my hand, just shook it and said, students are first in this issue, and for the administration, students will continue to be first. But I looked at her and said, well, if students are first, I agree with you, and I'm concerned about our education because while students are first, those non-tenured track faculty are some of the best that you have. And so if our best professors are being let go, then what does that say about the investment in the education? And I told her to have a nice day, and she said the same, and I think she got the message.
How did you feel going in there with her?
It was kind of cool. I've never been up there before. I've never met the faculty or the administration, so that's kind of probably a problem too. But it was cool, and it was nice that she let us go in. That was kind of her. And hopefully she'll respond.
And what do you want to tell the students who want to be involved in the future?
February 18th, President's Day, there's an informational picket on the issue. Hopefully we get the word out and have a good turnout. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I promise you'll be inspired by. The coming together is something that's, it's how a community acts, and BGSU is a community. So come on out February 18th.
All right, thank you. That was Michael Hart. And when we return, February is all about Black History Month. We'll find out what's behind the month-long celebration.
We've all heard about Black History Month and some of the events taking place.
But joining us tonight is Dr. Nicole Jackson from the BGSU History Department to help us learn more about this month-long celebration.
Hi, Dr. Johnson.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So could you just give us some general information on Black History Month?
So Black History Month originates actually as Black History Week. In February 1926 is the first time it's celebrated, and it started by African-American historian Carter G. Woodson. And he was a Yale-trained historian who really felt like we needed the month to think about the contributions of Black people to American history. And it actually gets a really great response. Schools all over the country, Black community groups are really excited about it, and they are putting on events throughout the next few decades to celebrate it. And by the 1970s, it becomes a huge issue because African Americans are sort of working in the civil rights movement, but also in the Black Power movement. And so Black History Month means something different for them, and that's actually about the time that it becomes a month-long celebration recognized by the government.
And how was it in, like, did it, back in the day, how, I can't get my words out. What did people not understand about Black History Month?
I think there's a lot that people didn't understand about Black History Month and week, and that we still don't get. Carter G. Woodson's whole goal was that we would use Black History Week and later Black History Month to think about the contributions of African Americans, but with the ultimate goal that eventually we wouldn't need it. So we would already understand the contribution as a part of a larger American history. And I think we aren't there yet, which is one of the reasons we still have it. But he sort of meant it in every facet. So thinking about the contribution of Black soldiers to every single war that the United States has ever been involved in, thinking about Black educators, Black politicians, Black scientists. There's just so much there that we have not quite sort of gotten to.
That's good. So would you say that Black History Month has become more effective, like people are understanding it?
No.
No.
I still think that Carter G. Woodson's goal that we would fold in African American history into American history has yet to be sort of achieved, like I said. But I think there's this sort of assumption that this is sort of a special moment that African Americans haven't earned, and I think that that's not quite true. But part of the reason is that there's no sort of script. It's not like Black History Month, every teacher gets like a little pamphlet and like, this is what you study. So it can be really inconsistent. So some people focus a lot on the civil rights movement, which is great, but the sort of story that slavery ends and then 100 years later we get Martin Luther King Jr. misses a whole bunch, and it misses someone like Carter G. Woodson. So there's, it's important to sort of think about that.
What are some influential African Americans like close to your heart that you think should be recognized?
They're all close to my heart, which is why I study what I study. But, someone in a class I'm teaching now, we're talking about Ida B. Wells, someone who literally put her life on the line to sort of think about how violence was sort of shaping African Americans' lives, specifically Black men's lives in the South. I'm a huge fan of someone like, oh God, I can't believe I can't think of anyone right now. I love Elaine Brown. I'm a Black women's historian, so I love that. But I'm a huge fan of Malcolm X and his wife. I could sort of go on.
So I know Black History Month is celebrated outside the U.S. Could you tell us more about that?
There are two that I know of, but I'm actually certain that they're not the only two. There's one in Canada, which is also celebrated in February, and there's one in England, which I think is celebrated in November. And they both have kind of the exact same mission as in the US, which is to think about the contributions of Black people to those national histories. But the really great thing for me is that there's a lot of movement of people. So some of the people that are really important in African American Black History Month are also really important in sort of their movement to Canada and the Caribbean and England. So I think there's actually probably a lot of overlap.
Good.
What would you tell students about Black History Month? What events are there going on to celebrate it?
I don't know. I think you have someone to talk about that on campus. But I think that people should look at this as a moment to find out something you didn't know. There's a lot that we don't know, and so I think that rather than sort of wonder, why is it here again every February? You know, take the time to see what's happening in your community.
Yes.
Take the time to read a biography about someone you don't know about. I mean, all of these things are kind of low effort, just sort of ways to educate yourselves. And I think Carter G. Woodson would have been happy about just that.
Okay, and my last question is going to be, as an African American, why do you make yourself aware of what's going on in Black History Month? What made you become a professor in this department?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Good one.
I think that, you know, before I knew how important Black History Month was, I knew that there was something I was missing about the history that I was taught. And for me, it's a really great way of thinking about how do Black people contribute to sort of the country that I live in and the country that I love, but also how have we sort of been overlooking them for reasons that are sort of too big to name. But for me, it's about understanding a whole picture, and that whole picture includes Black people.
Good. Well, we want to thank Dr. Jackson for coming, and when we come back, we'll find out about the BGSU students here and what are they doing to create awareness during Black History Month. Stay with us. We're talking about Black History Month here on BG24 News Public Affairs. On BGSU campus, the Black Student Union organizes many events to help create awareness on Black History Month. Here to give us some specifics is the president of the Black Student Union, Tiffany Smith, and External Affairs, Sierra Henderson. Hi, guys.
Hi.
So, you guys are members of the Black Student Union, and what is the Black Student Union doing this month to bring awareness to Black History Month?
Well, in total this month we have 7 events on top of collaborating and supporting other organizations on campus. But one specific event, I'll let Sierra, since she's the chair of that event, I'll let her express exactly what we're doing.
Tomorrow we have Black Greeks in History, so that'll be in the BA building 110 at 7:30 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
But basically we're just going to highlight African Americans that are part of these Greek organizations that have helped with the civil rights movement and other things of that nature. So it's just about celebrating them and the hard work that they have put in. Some other events that we have coming up are Stereotypes Unchained, and we're really going to get into just basically the stereotypes, how we're viewed in the media, and other things of that nature as well. And then February 27th, we're collabing with LSU. So we're really looking forward to doing that program.
Good. And how were these events chosen? What made you guys choose them?
I know with the Black Greeks in History event, the reason why we chose this event is because we felt like we wanted the community to see more of the other side of the Greeks. Mm-hmm. So not only the side that they see currently, but the side that they see when through history and what their organization and their members have contributed up until this point. Another event we're doing on February 19th is actually our 44th birthday. Mm-hmm. So BSU was started February 19th. Thank you. February 19th, 1969. So it'll be our 44th birthday. We'll be in the union giving out cake, and we're also having a group, they're called Levi's, called Lift Every Voice and Sing, and they'll come and sing a couple of old Negro spirituals and some popular African-American songs in the union, just to kind of bring Black history, I think, right into the middle of campus, or right into the middle of the union, so.
Good. So what do you expect for the students here on the campus to get out of the events? Like, what impact do you guys intend on to make?
I just want them to know that Black History Month is not just only a month that you should celebrate, you know, your history and your ancestors. I want them to get out of it that this is something that I didn't know, and so it's something new, you know, that they could get out of it. So that's just my take on it. I just want them to appreciate their history and the people that were before them and that put in all that hard work.
And I think also on the same token, especially with some negative stereotypes that comes with being African American, we want to highlight some things that we do great on campus and that are currently happening good on campus. So it's not only to bring about awareness about issues we have, talk about history, but also just to have a good time and just, I guess, rejoice in one another. And the Black Student Union does stuff all year long, so this isn't just like, okay, February, and then the rest of the semester we call off. So we're doing a lot of work this month for sure, but we'll continue on to do a lot of great things. So.
Just to shed good light on you guys, I understand. And one event that already happened was the Black Issues Conference. Could you guys tell me what came out of that? What was discussed?
For us personally, Black Student Union, we didn't contribute to the Black Issues Conference, but it was through the Office of Multicultural Affairs and the Black Graduate Student Association. But it was a really great a Saturday, just from 10 a.m. until I think around 5 p.m. There were a couple of events that happened. Well, I guess you could say
Sessions.
Yeah, sessions that happen. Talking about different issues. I know one that I went to was talking about black women from undergrad to your PhD. So just focusing on black women pursuing the PhD and the struggles they had to get to their PhD. So.
Yeah, and then we actually received an award, so that was really nice. We got the Outstanding Student Organization Award there. So that was really big for our organization, just to be, recognized for all of the hard work that we have done this year and the people before us have done.
So outside of Black History Month, what other events do you guys hold that sheds light on just the Black Student Union as a whole, that brings the campus together and other organizations outside of the Black community?
I would say we're trying to start something new this year, and it's called Mr. and Miss BSU. So I think that would definitely bring the African American organizations and people together, just to highlight your accomplishments through the years. And then we also have the BET Awards that we do every year. It's just awards that we give out to students for their accomplishments. We have little performances that they put on, so they get to be interactive with the crowd and different things like that. So that's just a few programs that we're going to put on this year.
Another program we collaborate with NPHC, which is the African American Greek Council, but Black Graduation. Black Graduation is a pretty big deal where we all come together and celebrate those who are African American who are graduating, and just to bring their families in and kind of have something that not only is the big graduation, but something that you can kind of commemorate one another for as African Americans. So that'll be happening probably later in April, closer towards graduation. So.
And what do you guys do that just what would make some student want to just join the Black Student Union? What do they feel like they'll get out of it? Like, why should I join the Black Student Union?
I mean, one, I think we're great personally. I mean, I think we do a really great job. But secondly, I just think it's just a consciousness of self as African Americans and just as people, just questioning our identities and who we are as African American women, as African American men, and whatever your diverse background is, to question that. So I think the BSU is everywhere that you want to be, and not only that, but I also think that we do a lot of great things. So we're not only doing things within our community, but we try to collaborate again with the Latino Student Union, African People's Association,
NCNW,
National Council for Negro Women. So we've done multiple things to collaborate, not only within our community, but try to branch out and reach out to, other organizations in the community. So. And
we get a lot of, I can't be in BSU because I'm not African American.
Good question.
I mean, we definitely accept people that are black-minded. We don't, reject people because of their ethnicity or race or anything like that. So I think that's a definite reason to join Black Student Union. I mean, we collab, like Tiffany said, with a lot of other organizations, and we're the umbrella organization. So by joining BSU, you get to be in every organization. So I think that's a definite, ticket to join BSU.
So we want to thank Tiffany and Tiara for coming out and explaining to us why they should join BSU and the significance of Black History Month. Coming up, we're going to have a next look at the show and the previews of BG24 News tomorrow night.
Join us tomorrow at 5:30 for BG24 News, when we'll have more on today's student faculty rally. Here's a sample.
They say cut back, we say fight back. They say cut back, we say fight back. They say cut back, we say fight back. They say cut back, we say fight back.
And in 2 weeks on BG24 News Public Affairs, we'll show you the secret to mixing a good mixed drink, and we'll have helpful tips for your love life.
Thanks for being with us tonight. Good night.
Good night.